I'm often asked why online business. In my opinion, online business is the most quantitative and data-driven business opportunity in existence today. Every second spent on site, every set of eyeballs, every page view, every click-through, every person, every interaction is measured, quantified, recorded, and reported. Whether you're an advertiser looking to most efficiently spend your ad budget, or you're an internet entrepreneur making sure that your content, your design, your message is landing, there is no better way than internet business. It is the most data-driven and quantitative operation in existence, not to mention the fact that it's incredibly lean. We've partnered up with the Oracle Marketing Cloud to make sure that whatever it is that we're trying to promote, whether it's an offer, a product, a service, or message, we can use artificial intelligence, machine and deep learning to make sure that our offer gets in front of the individuals that are most likely to find that offer attractive. What that provides for us, efficient conversion. Dollars in and more dollars out. And that's the mission of our marketing team, to understand the data, to use technology, to partner with the companies that can better or more efficiently do what we need done so you win.
Welcome to this second edition of Income Store TV. I'm Dave Corbin, and I'm delighted to be your host. Today is going to be interesting, and I'll tell you why. Marketing. It's all about marketing. Marketing, the essential component of all business development. I was the largest marketer in Southern California, spending more than anybody building things up, but that was then. Internet marketing didn't even exist. It's always changing and developing. The definitive experts to talk about internet marketing are Kerri and Ken Kortright. Why? Because they have gone through the processes, the evolution, and our teams continue on that evolution. It works, it works, it works, it works. Uh-oh, it's not. What can we do? What might, could, should, ought we do? And then we change it and move forward. It's incredible. Without further ado, Ken and Kerri Kortright, check this out.
That's a great question. How did we market for, say, Miner's Pizza in 1995, or First National Bank, or quite frankly, even McDonald's and Harrah's Casino in the 90s? On one hand, it's completely different than today, and on the other hand, it's the same thing. So there is a golden rule of marketing called tell more, sell more. And back in the 90s, and I remember our video stores, we had my sister Tina dress up in a Pink Panther costume and shake signs out on Jefferson Avenue. We put the brightest signs in the world, and I mean that. We won a contest in Las Vegas for the brightest sign. We put those in our window of our video stores, drew a lot of attention. We would do radio, we would do flyers. Oh my God, how many flyers we passed out. We would have the DJs go on the roof and do a weekend spot, play music from big speakers. Anything we could do to tell more people we existed, because I don't remember the exact stat, but at any moment, any single business has a zone of influence, and less than 2% of people in that 10-mile radius know that business exists at any time in any industry. So we're always faced with, how do we get the other 98% to even recognize there's a business here? So that was the 90s. Fast forward to today, oh man, from social media to online market, pay-per-click, Google, it just doesn't stop, but it's still tell more, sell more. But now here's the key. Once you reach them, you then have to do what?
You have to actually have a relationship with them. So going back to the beginning, we were involved in everything, whether it was Rotary Club, the Chamber of Commerce, to Big Brother, Big Sister. We did a lot of outreach, because there wasn't an internet way back when we started. Or I shouldn't say it wasn't that there wasn't an internet. In the beginning there wasn't, but later on it was not used as the vehicle that it is today. And that's the same capacity back then. So you had to have personal relationships. In fact, even today we'll go to a lot of charity events, see the same people we met way many years ago, and it's like you never left them, because we had the relationship then, and it just carries over. So fast forward to today, how do we do things in outreach for our company? Well, about 6 years ago, we started doing a thing called Digital Footprint. Ken and I had been going to conferences for a lot of time, for a lot of years. Going to someone else's conference, sitting in the audience, networking that way. Eventually went on stage at other people's events, started speaking from stage. And then we realized this was also a great way for people to not only know about our company, but to meet our staff. And again, that gives a peace of mind when you know what's going on behind the lens, correct? So we had a thing called Digital Footprint, and it was twice a year. It was excellent. It was wonderful, a wonderful way of, again, edifying our company, edifying what we're doing, and just showing and teaching other people about their business, how they can grow their business. Something that was always important to us. You know, business is the way that the world works. So after a while, though, we outgrew having our own digital footprint and went to radio. So now we use radio as an outreach, a means for other people to know about our company.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump into, and this whole concept of Income Store TV is the evolution of digital footprint. We just need to reach more people worldwide. Right now, our podcasts and videos, Kerri and I have cut over 400 of them. They're heard in 63 countries, they're watched in 63 countries. We need to get out there faster and to have them all come into one city. We just found, I think Income Store TV on a monthly basis can do a phenomenal job of allowing us to connect.
But there's so much out there in terms of noise. You just really need to have that personal relationship, because it's really the one that matters the most. You need to have great lasting relationships, because you never know who their friends are and who they can lead you to.
You know, I would say about 2.3 million people have heard me say this. It's no longer survival of the fittest. No. It's survival of the most flexible and the most adaptable. And in the income store world, flexibility and adaptability is key. And key to that is data points. Absent the data, you can't move. Today you're going to be observing a panel. Imagine if you could be a fly on the wall and listen to some of the best and brightest minds in the utilization of data to be able to predict and to build growth. Well, today you're going to get that shot. You're going to be able to hear, you're going to be privy to a panel led by Dan Reno and some of our colleagues in there, some of our alliance partners, some of the brightest minds. Get ready for this, because you're going to learn a lot. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Dan Reno, Director of Marketing here at Income Store, and I'm here with some folks to talk about how our data is going to help us bring things to the next level. Yeah, so why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what you do here.
I'm Jonathan Hostetler, Director of SEO. I manage our SEO team, and what we do helps us get more traffic on our websites.
I'm Tiffany Clow, I'm the Director of Content, and I run our content department, and what we do is we put words on your websites.
Hi, I'm Claude Aboneng. I'm a software developer. Pretty much I create tools, automation stuff, anything that really needs to be done that is complicated and needs automation, or anything coding, I do that.
Great, thank you. So, data. What does it mean? Why do we care about it? Right? A lot of people think about a lot of different things when we say the word data. In our context, this is analytics data for the websites, right? So things like page views, number of users, traffic to landing pages, and even monetization metrics like how much we made in ads or affiliate commissions. Why we care about data, especially here, is that we need this information, to know what is working on our properties, so that we can study and gain insights in order to guide us to where to go and make more money with all of these properties. So, Jonathan, can you get into the SEO specific data and tell us why that is so important?
Sure. Well, the content that we write is only going to rank really well if we use the right data to figure out what to really talk about and what to write about. So we go through kind of generally a two-phase process in our research. So the first part of data we work with is the observation phase. So we look at, for any given website, how does that website rank overall? What keywords does it rank for? Looking at how much traffic it gets potentially, and sometimes on a page level as well, how specific pages are doing in terms of SEO. And then we'll also collect data from our competitors as well to see what pages they're ranking for, what kind of content they have, their site's authority. There's just a plethora of data that we work with there. And then as we get into our planning phase, we take all of that information and we figure out what content we need to publish on our site in order to give that site its best chance at ranking for new keywords, or sometimes to rank better for the keywords it already ranks for. And of course, more traffic or better rankings means more traffic, and more traffic means more revenue in general. So that's why we kind of take that data, work with it, process it, and turn it into something that's going to generate traffic for our website properties.
Okay. So Tiff, content is at the heart of everything we do, right? So suffice it to say, there is also a lot of data specific to content, how we publish it, where it goes, all that kind of stuff. Can you get into how that helps us make what we do better?
We just to give you an idea of like the breadth of what we do in content, we process anywhere between 2 to 4 million words a month, meaning that they are anywhere in a process from being written to being published to being optimized and anywhere in between. So we have to make sure that we are taking a look at where every single piece of content is in the stage. We publish about 2,000 pieces of content a month. That means that it has been written through the entire process up to the point where we publish it, and you can actually see it on your site, and users can get on and take a look at it and use it for what it's worth for the affiliates or whatever. It's important for us to be able to track all of that content because we are looking over our entire portfolio of sites. So there's thousands of things going on in any given day, and we don't have thousands of people to watch every single thing that goes on every day. So what we do is we track everything. So if a site partner came to us and said, hey, where is this piece of content in the process? I could be able to pinpoint and tell you exactly where it's at in the process and approximately how much longer it will take to get to publishing. It also allows us to look at some trends to where we can say, hey, in this niche, doing content this way worked, but if we do it the exact same way in this niche, it's probably not going to work. We can't write a general rule for everything. We like to write rules that make sense everything's a little unique, so every site's a little unique. We can write some general rules, but we can't say on every single site we're going to do this every single time. It does not work that way.
Great, thank you. So we have SEO data, we have content data and internal data, we have analytics data specific to websites. All of this data is all over the place, right? Claude, can you tell me a little bit about how aggregating this data and putting it together is both a significant challenge and what we stand to gain from doing that?
Yeah. If you want to compare last year's trend for the summer, and we use the current tools available to us, not the internal tools we created. We just use the tools that are out there. Let's say there's a tool called Tableau, for example. When I tried to query that, for example, it took an hour to be able to see one site's data, and it didn't give me any results because it's too much data. It's not able to handle it. So our system in place right now is able to aggregate that data, and we can compare thousands of sites at once, and it would take like 3 to 5 seconds to compare all this data to get a visual picture of all this data compared together in a nice graph.
And multiple data sets, not just one single bit of data.
That's
which
correct.
Would also take hundreds and thousands of hours in aggregate.
That's correct.
Can I give an example of maybe how we would use that data too? So as we do our keyword research, sometimes data can be really deceiving. So we can look at these opportunities and think, well, based on the data I'm seeing, I think these keywords are the ones that we should try to rank for that are going to do really well for these sites. Well, with this awesome tool that we have in-house now, we can look at historical trends in sites that we manage ourselves, and we can say, based on this type of content that we've already published in the past, we have seen success with this specific content or this topic. We can then take that information and say, let's continue to write along that same lines on either that website, or let's talk about those successful topics on other websites, and more than just one website can benefit from that data that we've seen.
And to go off of Jonathan, once he can figure out, what kind of content that he needs for us to write, that will also trigger us to know what our staffing needs are. So we can make sure that if content's going to be coming in at a much faster rate, that we are staffed up to make sure that everything is still getting touched, all of the sites are still getting content, not just keep staying stagnant with the amount of people that we have. So, even the data that comes from analytics, will spur Jonathan, and that will spur me, and then that will spur the monetization team and paid traffic. So it affects everybody. Just the fact that we were able to build this tool in-house speaks to the values and the culture that we have here at Income Store. I know values are a big thing here, and that's just amazing that we can see a need and we know nobody else can fulfill that need. So we take it upon ourselves to fulfill the need ourselves, meaning that, if there's something that is going to directly affect the site partners and we say, we really need to take care of this, we need to figure this out, we need to be able to get this information, we go to maybe 1 or 2 or 3 sources just to see if they can absolutely help us or not, and they can't, we say, okay, we're going to build it ourselves. And now, within a fraction amount of time, this tool in particular took a few months for Claude to build. And again, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of pieces of data in a couple of months, and now we can have it in a few seconds.
All right, so that about wraps it up today. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and I hope this helps you understand more about why we care so much about data and how we're going to use it to help you.
How cool is it to get inside information on the inner workings of Income Store? Data is the driving point for marketing, for strategy, and the like. And how cool is it that Claude and his team created this software to be able to manage massive amounts of data? Absolutely remarkable. We can talk about the technical and left brain analytic component of marketing in our marketing department, but let's look at the root component of this. Why are we even doing this? We do all of this to support the value of the investments of our site partners. And we're going to introduce you to some of our site partners. In fact, why don't we do that now? We're going to bring in Arlene and Dave Brown, who are site partners, and let's hear a little bit about their story.
Hi, my name is David Brown, and this is Arlene.
Brown.
We were driving to Florida, one of our many trips between Atlanta and Florida, and we heard an ad on...
You popped up on the radio. We need to look at this when we land.
Yeah.
And then, a few months later, we went to a Digital Footprints conference and got blown away.
And I have to say that we've, with our backgrounds and all the companies we worked for and the trainings, that we've had some really, really high quality trainings, and we started at AT&T. The whole presentation, the format, everything that we learned at Digital Footprints was probably the best conference we ever attended.
It was top notch.
It really was. It was fantastic.
Both in the quality of the speakers and in the content.
And we felt like by investing in Income Store and web properties through the Income Store, we would be investing in something that we at least understood, and we knew how things worked and how to capitalize on it.
It was something that could go on for years.
Yeah.
It was something that also had a much better return than what we were seeing at the stock market at the time.
Or still.
Yeah. Well, we had actually looked at different things to invest in. And we came to the conclusion that isn't it nice to have a business that you own, that somebody who really knows what they're doing is running, and you don't have to go and collect the money yourself, and you don't have to fix the problems when they go bad, and you don't get bogged down in all of that kind of thing. And that was very, very appealing. And I would say if you're looking for an investment, think about those things. And I think you'll agree that this is a very good one.
You're not going to find a better return on investment anyplace. These guys are honest. They know what they're doing. They're good business people. They've got a great track record, and it's recognized in the industry, the track record that they have. And to me, it's a perfect combination.
And you see companies and you think, gosh, they should have been the ones that went there, but they went away. And I think the Income Store is looking at that constantly, and I think that's a very, very good thing.
I hope you've enjoyed your Income Store TV newsletter segments thus far. You know, getting some insight into how this, standout organization does what it does, some additional background into how they do it. And I surely hope that you're getting to know some of the amazing people who make up our Income Store community. I'm so proud to share them with you. Now, one of the common threads that this company shares with the truly greats, the great businesses of our day, is a sincere commitment to common core values. Not just identifying the values, but actually living them. Some time ago, the entire team, including the leadership and owners, embarked upon a project of identifying the core values and listing them out. Now, many companies list the values, often mandated and handed down by the owners, but they reside on a wall and there they stay. They put a check mark next to the box. We did it, but not Income Store. I could say without hesitation that these people are actually living these values on a regular basis. And now I'm really excited to introduce you to Tiffany and have her tell her story about how these values come to life. So Tiffany, I'm so excited to have you here on today's showgram because when it comes to core values, you've been probably one of the biggest optimizers. So would you tell us a little bit about your experience with it and how things started going with you?
Sure. We have a program called Slack that we use to talk internally between everybody here in the company. And one day I was like, let's see if we can try this little experiment. So I put a core value on Slack and said what it meant to me or what was going on in my life at that time. And I tagged somebody in it. So the next day, without me asking, that person wrote their core value, what it meant to them, and tagged the next person. So this was a cascade effect that went on for probably 2 or 3 months, and each day it was a different person. And then when we got, more and more people involved, say up to 20 or so, people are like, hey, I didn't get tagged yet, or I've been tagged already, so give it to the next person. So it got to be really, really exciting because it almost became a game.
Yeah.
And every day we would be like, hey, you didn't put your core value in yet today if it got later in the day, so people would be prompted to do it.
That is so cool. Did you have any idea that it was going to cascade, as you say?
No, because, it wasn't planned to cascade. But knowing the people that work here, they took that and they ran with it because the values here do mean something. And the big reason that they mean something is because we created them. They were not handed to us from Ken and Kerri or anybody from the outside. They came to us and said, write down what's important to you and we're going to figure out what our values are from that.
That's why. And of course, they weighed in. They were, they contributed as did everyone else, but they had an equal vote.
Yes.
In the community. That is so cool because, Ken and Kerri had an equal vote like everyone else.
For sure.
And they're part of the community. So I love talking about this and what we're going to be doing in our coming up episodes, our future episodes of the Income Store, TV newsletter, is we're going to highlight one of the values each time. And as long as you're here, you want to kick us off?
Sure. The first one I'm going to talk about is honesty. Hi, I'm Tiffany Clow. I'm the content director here at Income Store, and I'm also dubbed as the all-around mom of Income Store. Honesty is one of those core values that it's hard to talk about because you don't want to seem non-genuine. You don't want to seem like, everything we do here, we're very honest and we're very honest people, and honesty is great because that's not real. When somebody says, what's your core value, I absolutely resonate with honesty because I am the person that if you really want to know, I'm really going to tell you in the kindest way I can. I see honesty at play here at Income Store every day when people are looking for feedback. If you ask somebody, how am I doing on such and such a project? If you really want to know and you really want to grow and do things right and learn from your mistakes, it's super important for someone to give you that honest feedback. Now, that doesn't mean they have to be rude and unkind about it, but it is something that is super important for us as a company, for us as individuals to know and to be able to move forward from. If I, went to my supervisor and said, hey, I just did this awesome project, I think I did a bang-up job on it, and they're like, yeah, you did great, but knowing they think something very different, that's not doing anybody a service for them to just say, yeah, you did great, just to move you along your way. Honesty is very important just in every aspect of your life. In my opinion, if you don't have honesty, you don't have much of anything. But the more honest you are with yourself, the better your life can be, because you're not hiding behind things. If people know you're honest, they know they can trust you.
If growing a company really only involved marketing and marketing department, I can promise you we'd have a very, very small business, certainly smaller than it is today. No, it's much more than that. And in our next edition, we're going to talk about building a plan, actionizing a plan so that everything could be seen by as many people as possible. It's something that's known as SEO, search engine optimization. Well, that's it. That's episode number 2, Income Store TV. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to episode number 3. And until then, Dave Corbin, peace out.